This video brought to you in part by these fantastic Patreons. Patreons are the lifeblood and the backbone of this channel and help with cool things like the giveaway in the description. But let's get into the video. Hey guys, what is up and welcome to the channel. I am the Shotgun Shogun and this is the TSS podcast episode 5. Now, I know I said in the past couple of episodes that I was going to find a wiki on how to name my podcast, but I think we're just going to stick with the TSS podcast. So I am joined this time with Musaki from the Chaldea Gurus, good friend of mine, fantastic content creator. Musaki, say hey to all of the people.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Musaki, as the lovely Shotgun Shogun has stated, and yeah, it's a pleasure to finally be here.
Yeah, absolutely. You may recognize Musaki from things like getting one shot on Nero Bride, and then getting one shot on Raiko as well.
It still hurts.
we need to do that again, man. I haven't rolled off against anybody in a while, so
yeah, no, it's been a minute. So, yeah. I mean, like I'm pretty sure you saw What a Weeb completely destroying.
I did, yeah.
The saltiest of rolls, and of course the next roll I get Emiya Alter. It's like,
yeah,
why couldn't that have been the first one?
Right, yeah. No, it took me quite a bit for MHXA as it was, but anyways. For those of you who don't know Musaki, I'm gonna throw a few just light questions at you so that the people at home and on the bus and at school can get to know Musaki from the Chaldea Gurus, the man, the myth, the legend. So, Musaki, when did you start creating content?
That depends. Like, honestly, we started off for content way back when. Yes, baby. Starring my kids.
Starring your kids, yeah.
But no, I went ahead and started doing like fan dubbing and stuff a while ago. But in terms of Fate Grand Order, I started July 31st of 2017.
Okay,
say,
nice.
2017.
Nice. So that was, did you start making content for JP then?
No, I started for NA. I believe
for NA?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought about doing JP, but I was like, I don't know enough, and the language barrier really gets me. But I do know a lot about regular FGO. And I was gonna start the moment it came out, and then I got cold feet. I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. I'm probably not that good. I mean, we got Soberonis from GNA Reviews doing this stuff. Got Evil Jogging and Deku. I don't know if I'll do this. And then I decided, just, you know what, F it. Why not? We'll just go.
Yeah, no, and I mean, you know what? That's one of the things that I tell a lot of people that have cold feet, or they're not sure how to jump into the FGO content creation. You know, I always tell them, like, man, just jump in the pool, man. Hold your nose and jump into the deep end and just start doing it. Just put stuff out there and grow as you go, because, you know, one of the big things that me and you've talked about before is that, like, everybody brings a little bit something different to the landscape, you know, and you guys, not only are you informative, but you also have the skits, which I absolutely love, and the voice acting, which I have always been terrible at. I don't know if I told you the story, or if maybe you heard the story, but back when I think last Dante's Prison Tower, not the recent rerun, but the first one, I was on the fence about where I wanted to take my channel. You know, at the same time we had, Not a Whale, we had you, GNA, Evil Jogging, and a couple other people, K and stuff like that. And I was like, man, you know what? I don't know what I want to do, but like talking to you and like watching you guys, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try my hand at voice acting, and I'm going to try to voice out these Dante's Prison Tower cutscenes. Did it all. Did every last one of them. I did all of the voices different. I uploaded them, and I was going to, put them out, and this was going to be the beginning of my sweet voice acting career. I listened to them. They were the most cringy thing that I think has ever been put on the internet, and I immediately deleted them. And I decided that I will only ever voice act as Shotgun Shogun. So, yeah. So thank you, Musaki and Chaldea Gurus, for giving me that opportunity to decide that I will never be a voice actor.
That is no problem. I mean, hey, at the very least, you'll know you'll always have your role as the one dude wearing just swim trunks.
Just swim trunks. Dude, you can put me in like Christmas events too, and I'll still probably be wearing swim trunks.
Man, I actually, that wasn't the Christmas video. I think it was you and Kay. Oh no, it was the Buster video.
Yeah, it was the Buster. Yeah, it was the Buster video. Yeah. So, and I mean, that's not actually too far off. I'm one of those guys who wears shorts like year round unless it gets to like -40 outside, and then I'm just like, you know what? I'm just not going to go outside. That's so I can keep wearing shorts. So
man, especially because, dude, that's how cold. Is it pretty cold down there? Because it's like,
oh yeah,
here.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much the same weather in Ohio as it is up there by you, man. So, all right, so content creator, fantastic stuff. Were you a big Fate fan before you got into content creation?
I was. Fate, I discovered it, I want to say in 2009 as well. Like that was around the time I had made my first trip out of the country to Puerto Rico. I saw an AMV with Fate, and I was like, I've seen this at FYE a lot. I really like this girl in blue in armor. So I think I need to watch this. Watched it, loved it, was championing it, played the visual novel, made the unfortunate error of playing it on a bus. And then of course it gets to like, oh man, this is the scene with the CJ Dragon. I want to see like what it was before. And I was like, oh God, what? And it kept getting worse. Like, come on, skip. Oh no!
Oh yeah, no, and so I've had things like that. There was one time I was on an airplane, and usually when I'm flying, I use that time to like catch up on anime that I haven't really been keeping up on, stuff like that. And so I don't know if you're familiar with Devilman Crybaby, but it's definitely not a person sitting like on top of you in an airplane seat right next to you worthy anime. But I'm thinking, I don't know, man. I don't know what this is. I like watched the first one and stuff like that, but it didn't really register in my head because I just watch anime at home. So I start busting this out, and then like halfway through the episode, I realized that there is just a little old lady just sitting next to me, just like staring at my tablet screen, and I just can't even fathom the things that were going through her head because like I look down and I'm just like, oh. Okay, and we're switching that anime. But yeah, no, I can't imagine playing the visual novel in a public space unless you're just one of those people that's just like, yeah, I don't care, deal with it.
That was like my first visual novel.
Yeah.
So I like, and I thought I was like, oh yeah, they said they got like a clean one. This is the clean one. It's like, no, it wasn't. It's like, oh God, no wonder she felt so tired after that. That makes sense.
Slaps roof of Rin's defenseless anus. But
good job.
Yeah, I've actually thought about in the past getting the clean version and just playing through it on stream. But I've got so much other stuff that I've got to do that is just yeah. You know how it is as a content creator with back to back events, and I'm sure that you and your team put in a lot more effort than I do, and I put in a lot of effort on my videos. Like I don't even know how to animate things, so the amount of effort that you guys go to always blows me away because it's always very, very well polished. And I know how hard it is, like working day to day and having to try to herd cats. And by that, I mean working with other people who are on their own timelines. So some of the things where you have just a massive amount of people, like getting that all to click together is just so cool. And it's just always a good time seeing your videos come out.
I honestly appreciate it. It is tough. I mean, because a lot of us are friends. I mean, I'm friends with each and every one of the members, so there's that. But yeah, I mean, even us, we have our own little challenges that we have to work on. Working with people, as normally is. But the one thing that we all get on board is that we all love Fate. We all want to make sure we do Yes, have hiccups. No, we all make sure we do a good job and help each other out. We're getting a lot better for that, and like we're already working on stuff ahead of time, and
that's actually
doing that.
that's one of the things that I need to do, but it's always real rough because I'm always like, man, I want to get ahead of the game. I want to have, you know, this guy done a week ahead of time. So but then, you know, I'll just put out a video and then the next day DW will be like, haha, bamboozled, Shotgun Shogun, we're gonna release something that we didn't talk about before. So like,
it's like,
damn, and you're like, that's cool, thanks. That actually happened to me last year for Camelot. I had a certain set of things coming up because I was like, okay, well, this is the way things are going, and then they're just like, nope, here's Camelot right before the anniversary, get wrecked. So all of the stuff that I had to like super fast track, and then I put other things off, and yeah, it was when they shake everything up and they don't give you more than like a couple of days ahead of time, it's really tough without literally just sitting down and going, all right, cool, I'm making a year's worth of content so that regardless of when they put it out, who cares, I've got it, you know. That's one of the big struggles right there.
It is. I mean, like I said, we're working 2 months. We're trying to work up within 2 months ahead and trying to get the biggest stuff done.
Right.
And it's rough. Like, I'm pretty sure Gouda Gouda Rerun's going to come out within the next 2 weeks, but I can't be sure.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, we're potentially going to get Gouda Gouda next week on the 13th.
Exactly.
You know, and then we'll have, I think it ran for like a week and a half, because originally it was the 18th through the 31st with the rerun coming like the beginning of the next month. So it's probably going to be a week and a half to 2 weeks, but I mean, we'll see. They've been overlapping a lot of things, which is you know, kind of surprising. I think what their plan is they want to get a little bit ahead of the game so that way they can get all of Agartha out before the anniversary on July 6th, which isn't a real anniversary, but AX is going to be just our unofficial anniversary from now on,
which is unfortunate because I'm like it'll always be 6:25 for me because I just remember sitting there on my phone like, it's got to be here any second. It's got to be here any second. Yeah. And I got to re-roll until I get waiver.
Oh, yes. Oh man, I remember I remember the early re-rolling. I was dead set on a waiver Altera Kaleidoscope Herc account, and after like 2 days I literally was re-rolling on like 6 accounts like at the same time, and after like 2 full days of re-rolling I had a waiver Altera K-Scope account, and I was just like, you know what, that's fine.
That's close enough.
That's like, close enough.
3 5 stars.
The thing is, though, it took me so long to get my first Herc. Like, it took me a while to get my first Hercules. I think I got my first Herc literally from a 4-star summon ticket, like the 4-star guaranteed.
Oh yeah, the one they just gave out, like, hey, you can choose a 4-star.
I was like, oh, finally Hercules. That's cool. Glad I got this a long while afterwards. But you know, that's the weird thing about Gacha though, is that you can spend a pile of money and not get a Drake for like a year and a half.
Yep.
You know, so. And then other people are just like, oh man, I hate all these Drake spooks. I've got NP7 free to play, by the way.
And I'm sitting here like, I wish I had a Drake. I'm sitting here still with my single target Meave and my my Santa Alter to clear things.
Yeah. I mean, there's things that I have never gotten. Actually, I think I've gotten most of the spooks. There's servants, obviously, I never picked up. But so you split your time sometimes between both NA and JP. Do you still do that? Like, do you find it do you find it hard to like keep up with both events?
I do. I find it extremely hard. I've even had to get some help managing my account. Like, look, I need you to just power through my JP account for a bit because it's like I getting behind a little bit, but it's hard. I do it mainly now, just so I can know what's ahead, what's coming,
Mhm.
and because I have Okita Alter MP3. And
I mean, that's as good enough reason as any. I'm actually really looking forward to both her and her figure dropping. So,
man, her figure drops. I was like, well, I'm buying that.
oh yeah,
That's going somewhere the kids cannot reach. It's just gonna sit there. And like, I mean, those are the two, Okita and Okita Alter. I don't know why I'm keeping that. And I'm kind of suspecting a Guda 4 will be coming out in JP this year. They seem to keep that going.
Okay.
Maybe not, but if they do, I need to be ready.
I mean, I am all about more Nobus. When can I get a Nobu servant? Not Nobunaga, but the Nobu. That's what I want.
Man, make that a 3-star archer. I'm down for that,
dude. Or make it a 5-star archer, and I'll wail for it.
Well, I mean, I would honestly.
Yeah.
Attack with all mini Nobus.
Yeah, and literally that would just be the entire voice line is just Nobu, but in different inflections. It'd be like Groot, but it would be Nobu.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Honestly, I was even talking with Nina earlier. It's like, it's either going to be that new Gouda Lancer that has that saber face, or is it gonna be like a Nobu Alter or another Shinzengumi member or something like that.
I mean, I would be down for a Nobu Alter, but they'll probably go with a saber face. Do they need to hit certain amounts of revenue anytime soon? Because that usually is when they drop a saber face or a rerun of Merlin or Jalter.
At least they are better about it now. Like, at least, like, I almost forget that Jean and Okita are saber faces sometimes. The different voice actors, different personalities. And I'm like, oh yeah, they are saber faces, even though they aren't Arturia. I gotta get over that in my head.
I mean, I just tell people, do they have the saber face trait in game? Then they're a saber face.
Yep. Did MHX Alter do more damage against them? All right. Then they're a saber face.
I mean, well, if that's the case, then Arthur Prototype's a saber face.
Technically, yes. I believe he has that trait.
I know, because I literally did the review
video earlier
this afternoon. Yeah, so I was like, huh, that's interesting. I'm like, he does have the Arthur trait. So
yeah, Proto Arthur Alter when?
Proto Merlin when?
Oh, I'm rolling that. Yeah,
that right there would be all of the money. Like,
there's your saber face caster right there.
Yeah, exactly. But let's see what other easy-ish questions did I have for you. What other gacha games do you play besides FGO? At the moment?
Play a little bit of Azure Lane, Epic 7, Master of Eternity, which is a pretty fun mech strategy game. I used to play Fire Emblem Heroes. Stop that. I play Pokemon Go when I go walking. It's just like, oh, might as well. It's here.
I mean, does Pokemon Go really count as like a gacha game?
I mean, you do have to pay for the Pokeballs. I don't know.
Oh, fair enough. Well, I mean, yeah, you do get the eggs and the incubators, and who knows what's gonna pop out of that, right?
That's a low key gacha. Try to get the kids early.
Right there. Yeah, they get them hooked, and then next thing you know, rate up's a lie. You're gonna have kids that are like, man, I just can't hatch a Snorlax. Rate up is 100% a lie.
Exactly.
So I played Pokemon Go for a while when it first came out, but living in the middle of nowhere with no internet, guess what? There's no Pokemon either. So
oof, yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, it kind of sucked, but cool, dude. Let's get into the meat of this podcast. I talked to you a little bit about this, but I'll let the viewers at home know. A lot of, since Shinjuku dropped, there's been a lot of rumbling and controversy around the Emiya Alter censorship, and I'm putting that in air quotes. You can't see it over here because we're just two icons on a screen, but that's definitely in air quotes. Now there's both sides of the fence. There's people that are like, hey, this was a great idea because the original art for it was a little borderline blackface, semi-racist, could have caused a lot of problems. Then on the other side of the fence, you've got the people that are like, hey, I don't like any censorship whatsoever of my game at all, in the slightest. It was fine. And so there have been quite a bit of back and forths on that. Now, full disclosure, I'm actually fine with the changing of it. I thought that the original sprite it didn't look that great. It really did kind of feel like they just took Emiya and they're like, hey, guess what, Skidaddle Skidoodle, you're a black guy now. And I thought that was like, I was like, wait, alters are just supposed to be like edgy goth kids. Like when did Emiya decide to, just swap races on it? Like, and I understand the backstory too, the whole like, his skin's darkened because he burnt out his magic circuits and all of that stuff. And the kind of like thing that I come back with is, yeah, burning out your magic circuits doesn't really, increase your lip size or give you cornrows. You know what I mean, man? So,
right.
I think that on one hand, it probably was a good move to really kind of jump in front of the North American market, because not getting into politics or anything like that, but working in the American market these days is like walking on eggshells of who's going to catch wind of something that they don't like and how big of a deal is it going to be. Now, me and you talked a little bit about this before the podcast, and it doesn't really seem like Fate Grand Order is like on that spectrum of things that people complain about like actively, because otherwise we would have Pants on Jack, which I actually really wish that there was an option. Yeah, that kid's gonna catch a cold, let's put some pants on that kid. But that's the thing, is it really hasn't gotten to that point. Like nobody's ran like a Twitter brigade on DW to say, oh, we're never gonna spend money on Saint Courts again because you don't put pants on that kid. Now, like, what do you think about this what's your side of this, Moo? How do you feel about all this?
In my opinion, the look, at the very least, he looks better with the lightened skin. He doesn't look bad. I actually kind of preferred the Emiya Alter that we had in Fuyuki. I thought that was fine. Like if you see like First Order, you kind of seen him as Alter. The other thing is, like, the other part was that apparently the design behind it was of a broken pottery. Yeah. Which apparently, like, they break the pottery and they use gold to like fill it back in. So like for the later ascensions, you see that gold is more a part of him. And I'm like, that's cool. The lip part is what bothers me. And it also bothers me too. Like, I'm a little on the fence, but it's like, oh yeah, we gotta call him Detroit Emiya or Demiya. And I'm like, on one hand, I think I should be offended, but the other hand, Detroit got mentioned. I think I'm okay with that.
I've already told you previously my feelings on Detroit, but that's because every time I fly through Detroit, like, my plane never takes off again, and I'm always stuck in Detroit. So
I understand. I don't like dealing with our airplanes either, though. So
and the whole Detroit Emiya thing. So I like to, before I come to an opinion on things anymore, I like to look into things so that somebody can't call me out in the comments and be like, Shogun, you're stupid. Here's a 9-page essay on why you're wrong about this one thing. I did look up the whole Detroit Emiya thing, and I believe that it was just a line in something that was said by
Tamamo
Cat. Yeah, and it was just like a little off the cuff thing, and apparently like nobody even thought that it was funny. Like none of the other characters thought that it was funny. It was just Tamamo Cat being like real dumb. And even the character artist was kind of like, oh yeah, no, we wanted him to like be a prisoner or whatever like that, and didn't really seem to really, like, it wasn't deeper. Now I know that it's a weird situation because like Japan and like literally every other country doesn't have that history of you know, the blackface stuff. So you know, a person like making a character over in Japan, you know, they don't necessarily know, and it's tough to even, well, really to say that like now, because things, the internet, everything has gotten further out there, and it's kind of like, you know, like even if you're from another country, like you kind of know, like you know that this is probably not gonna be the best thing to do. But regardless, even anime in general has a very long history of stereotyping other races, like the, you know, the Bandit Keith American guy, you know, what's up, like, my homie, bang bang, I've got a gun, you know, type of thing. Like, you know, and almost anytime you see a black guy in anime, very, very stereotypical. So being that they come up in that culture, I could definitely see them going, oh yeah, no dude, this isn't gonna be that big of a deal. Now when it comes overseas, obviously there's gonna be some people that are like, yo, what the F, dude. But I think
especially with all the reaching controversy around that, like, it just like, it was a good move business wise. It's like, okay, people are hammering down on this, we're gonna avoid that.
Right. Now, one of the things that I would have liked, well, first off, like I said before the podcast, they could have fixed it all just by fixing the lip. Like literally the skin tone itself wasn't really the problem. Like it's more black than it is brown. Like, you know, and not only that, but like you have that juxtaposition of the super white hair. The later versions have the gold in him. You know, he's broken. Literally all they would have had to do was fix the lip, and then boom, we would have been perfectly fine. Because there were people who were drawing similarities to Kiritsugu, and the fact that his skin is also blackened, but nobody really cared too much about that, even though they were the same skin tone. Now watch, that's gonna go and get censored as well. And actually, I don't want to say censored, because I feel like it's not necessarily censorship. It's just, hey, we kind of fixed a thing that, you know, we probably should have, you know, fixed in the beginning, except we still didn't fix the lip that we should have.
Yeah, like, so in all honesty, like I definitely see the JP, since they are the one that are kind of controlling things here. They're trying to like, what mistakes are we making? Can we not make those same mistakes with other servers or other places?
Yeah, and I mean, really, like, even just in general, like, FGO hasn't had that many, like, widespread controversies in general. I know there was the KR server issue with the, was it the most recent Guda Guda event because of the whole World War II thing. And then I think the only other one that I've ever heard of was the initial Parvati banner, because you know, a handful of people were like, we don't want to see our god as a servant or something along those lines. Oh god,
I remember that.
Yeah, and I mean, it was they were like, yeah, you don't even play our game, like it's in Japan, like, sucks.
On top of that, is the reason why they got that little line in the beginning of the game. Like, even though names are that you might see similar names, but these aren't real people.
What do you mean that King Arthur wasn't a girl? And when King Arthur took a lance, her boobs got super huge. I actually had to explain that was canon to somebody, because they're like, nah, man, that's not really how boobs work. I'm like, it is in Fate Grand Order.
I mean, yeah, like, it was in the life where she didn't pick up the sword, so she started aging again.
It's literally in her bond thing, and I'm just like, here you go. This is what it did. It made her certain assets larger.
All right, let's just talk about MHXX, and I'm like, I bet. I mean, I like her anyway, but it's like, hey, more power to you.
But so going back to it, like, I don't necessarily want to call it censorship. It is to a point, but You know, the thing is it would have been nice, and I know that I always say this and it's never going to happen ever, but like just some communication, like, hey, look, you know, we did this because, hey, with this is just our artistic, you know, discretion. We decided to change it over here. One of the things a lot of people are concerned about is, you know, is this going to lead to more artistic decisions and censorship with things like Abby, or you know, anything that might cause ripples in social media down the road? And if that's the case, you know, China, anytime they have to censor things because of government rules, they get compensation. Now everybody just thumbs down this and they're like, oh, Shogun's back on his BS, complaining about free Saint courts. But you know, at the same time, it literally is a change to the game, and you know, there should be some sort of compensation. One of the things that I thought would be a good idea is, why not make both, leave both in the game, and you can just toggle it on and off. Like, if you want Jack to have pants, Jack can have pants. If you want Jack to put you on an FBI watch list, you can be on an FBI watch list. You know, let people play it how they want to play it. So that would be an option. I don't know how feasible that is from, you know, a software standpoint. I'm sure
that would
that
require JP
you know,
to go in and program that specifically for us, because I don't know if they'll do that for JP. I mean, they went in and changed. It's easier to change art assets and to just replace it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to add a function just for NA.
Right.
Like, yeah, so that might be a pipe dream. But I think that is a valid concern, though. I mean, there's a lot of other servants that are be coming out. Like, I mean, King Protea being one of them. Are they gonna do something with her?
Right.
Are they gonna, like, more scantily clad? I mean, there's Lancer Raiko coming out in summer.
Yeah. You know, and where is the line that they're going to draw on what censorship they're going to implement? Now, I know that, you know, on the whole thing with, you know, Emiya Alter, Albert even indicated very early on that was probably something that was going to end up getting changed. I don't know exactly where it was. I know that it was quite a ways out that he was like, yo, hey, this is probably gonna get changed because NA. But the thing is like, without like an official communication, for those masters who are aware of the previous version, or they go look it up on, you know, the wiki, and they're like, wait, why does my Emiya Alter not look like that? It's really kind of one of those things where it was just snuck in, and it's very reminiscent of the way that Don Machi took out the like the touching thing in Crunchyroll, took out the touching that JP had, and they're like, everyone's like, hey, where's this thing at that I was expecting to get that was on JP? And they're like, sucks, we took it out. Sucks to suck, man. And whereas if they would have just put out something ahead of time, and just been like, hey, look, this is why we're doing it. We understand if you are upset, but this is the way that we're doing this. That would go a lot better than just having people get super mad and not having a decision other than, well, they're just doing this to stave off any sort of backlash from these people, when, you know, maybe those people aren't going to buy the game, play it, whatever, and you just get a cell of people that are just not happy then, and then they're just waiting for the next censorship, and then, you know, it really deteriorates some of the trust in the devs of, you know, keeping the game the way that it was intended.
Right. It is a little worrisome where you're like, okay, the line has to be drawn. I know that they're probably not going to say anything at all. Period.
Ever. Yeah.
I mean, Albert's already said, like, this is new for them. They're like, I think for them it's like we don't need to say anything. It's probably safer that we don't.
I
So they
mean,
don't.
to be completely honest, a lot of times it actually is safer to say nothing than it is to come out and say something, because then you have something officially on the record and then people can use that as ammo. If you're just silent, then people can speculate your reason all day and night, but there's nothing on the books to say, hey, we did this because X, Y, and Z. And so it's a little bit easier to just kind of shrug it off if you stay quiet and keep your reasons to yourself. I've seen a lot of game companies and just people in general that go to defend themselves and then just get gangpiled even more, and then they look even worse as they go into a spiral of apologies. So yeah, it's probably a bit better
that they don't say
anything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it does kind of suck that the game is, and even just from an artistic standpoint, I know that it doesn't impact gameplay in the slightest, but just the fact that we're not getting that JP experience, boys. No, but like, what else is going to be changed in the story?
Right. I think that's pretty much safe to say. Like, who knows at this point? I mean, this might be a one-off because, again, like I said, the climate, it wouldn't have been good to be grouped up with that already. So, but Ediplex and everyone's like, yeah, it might be a safe move just to lighten that up a bit. But again, I agree with you too. They would have just changed the lips. Would have been fine, because there's actually some really good fan art of Emiya Alter.
Yeah.
Where it's just, they don't focus on the lips, and I'm like, this is great.
That was what I was seeing that when I was doing my research on this a little bit earlier, and I was like, yeah, dude, just literally that was the only thing that they needed to change, and I don't think anybody at all would have been upset with that. I mean, there would have been like one or two people on Reddit or something like that would have been like, bruh, they changed the lips, bruh. But like almost everyone else would have just been like, oh yeah, no, that looks way better, because even the original sprite, I'm just kind of like, like I really don't care, but yeah, just change those lips, dude, and then you'd be fine. Just doesn't really make any sense, but here's fingers crossed. I mean, well, the thing is like, Emiya Alter probably isn't one of their cash cows. I can't imagine them. I actually can't imagine them censoring Abby. Like, Abby's gonna bring them a lot of cash, and I feel like Emiya Alter wasn't a financial bump in the pocketbook as much as like a Lancer Raiko, an Abby, Jack, things like that. So from a business standpoint, that's probably one of the things too that they look at before they're like, is the controversy worth the cash that we're gonna rake in from Abby?
Right. I can definitely understand that. I think Abby will be pretty good for them. I don't know if they'll touch it. I mean, that last ascension, the last ascension is a little rough.
A lot of people who don't know about those last ascensions probably just paused this video or opened another tab, and they're like, Google, please show me what these gentlemen are talking about, because clearly it must be very, very tasteful. So
let's just say, for my Abby, she stays in Form 1. Like, I have her on JP, and I got her in 7 tickets, which much to Sippy VA's chagrin. But I got her, and I was like, "Yep, you're staying in Form 1 forever."
But that goes back to like the thing, they could easily fix things like that by adding in a costume. There you go.
Exactly.
People who want to just have Jack in a sweater and a pair of pants, boom, here you go. Here's a costume. If you don't want to do it, then you don't have to. But for those masters who do want to put them into some clothes, Bam, easy peasy lemon squeezy. And it would give you more. One of the things that I've talked to a couple people about is I don't understand why Fate Grand Order hasn't put more costumes in. Not necessarily even like Gacha or anything, but put it in for like mana prisms or rare mana prisms or just anything, because after you get to a certain point there's just not a whole lot to do, and you don't really have a whole lot of like visual customization. One of the big things with like games like Azure Lane is all of the visual customizations, skins on skins on skins, man. And that's a big thing with a lot of gacha games that are coming out too, as I see that, if the gacha rates are good, then they're like, oh hey, boom, you're gonna spend a bunch of money on these super cute skins. So having the ability to visually modify your characters that you've seen for endless hours for the last umpteen million years is is something good to keep the game fresh as well, and that can circumvent the the need for censorship, because they can just be like, oh well, I mean, if you don't like seeing Jack with no pants on, just go get this skin, and then it's easily fixed. We gave you an option, you're just not using it, you're opting to be upset over something that you have the ability to change.
It covers a couple different bases. It keeps people playing the game because they want to grind for those materials so they can get that outfit. Like the fact that Parvati has the Sakura schoolgirl outfit for her, or the fact of Mashu in her summer outfit, and
so cute.
Like, and then Shinjuku Jean Alter, which I'm still waiting for my Saber Alter Shinjuku outfit.
Saber Alter. When no, seriously, like that's a good one. They have so many figures coming out of the Saber Alter Shinjuku outfit. Maybe they will put maybe they'll put it in the game as more of those come out.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nice. Maybe with Heaven's Field Part 3 when it comes out, maybe they'll do it. Who knows? The world's our oyster.
Yeah, so let's finish this up. We've been talking for quite a while here. I try to keep these around 45-ish minutes. What servants are you looking forward to most this year in the NA server?
This year, does Okita count? Honestly, getting my Okita on that journey. If people don't know on my Discord, I have Musaki saving for MP5 Okita. I will get her there. That will be my first servant at MP5. That's a 5-star at least.
Nice.
But aside from reruns, I'm actually pretty excited for Melt coming out. I'm excited for Tomoe Gonzen coming out, which would be really
more
cool.
Like too Moe.
Exactly, way too Moe. She's a gamer girl, so gotta get that. And in terms of other 5-stars, Arash Kagal.
Kagal.
Gotta get her.
Arash is definitely up there on my list. They're actually coming out with an Arash figure as well, so I'm excited for that. One of my favorite things, and I tell people this like when I do panels and things, is one of the biggest things for me with Fate Grand Order coming to North America isn't even necessarily the game, isn't necessarily the awesome community that I've built and friends that I've made in the content creator community, but the fact that they put out like a new figure every week. Like, just there's so many figures. It's insane how many figures started to flood the North American market once Fate Grand Order hit the shores over here. They saw that, they're like, oh hey, boom, gateway in. So it's like we're getting a bunch of new animes over here, we're getting a bunch of figures and merch. And before Fate Grand Order, there really wasn't a whole lot of Fate merch unless you were paying top dollar from some dude in a dealer's room who imported it from Japan and is definitely charging you 500% markup on it, but good luck getting it anywhere else, so the fact that they are just absolutely flooding me with figures has me super ecstatic. So yeah, and I'm looking forward to you know, the more events too. The FGO tour was so cool. We talked a little bit about it, you know, off podcast, but you know, the FGO tour coming to all those the conventions that they're going to is really awesome. Now I know that, you know, we were talking about how when it goes to like ASEN, there's going to be a lot of people doing ASEN stuff and maybe not necessarily doing the FGO tour stuff, but I think that there will still be a big enough group of people that will be in the FGO tour area. And one of the coolest things for me was that everyone who was there, you could just go, hey, you want to talk about Fate Grand Order? And they're like, huh, do I? I'm literally here for that. So it was super easy to like strike up conversations with people and, you know that everybody was there to, you know, appreciate waifus and husbandos for a game that we all play. So that was super huge. And I'm also super excited to hang out with you at the one at ASEN. You're going to the one at ASEN?
I am not going to ASEN. That would people going to ASEN, at least from Guru perspective, is going to be Sippy, Misaki, Pasakan. I think Chloe, who voices Mashu for us.
Sweet.
I'm not 100% sure.
We'll have to.
They're going there. Yeah, no, you'll see them all. They'll probably be trying to pass out more of the craft essences that we did for Youmacon, and I think Misaki did it when she went to Anime LA as well. But,
nice.
Colossal Con was the one I was going to try and go to.
Yeah, but there's not going to be an FGO tour at Colossal Con.
Unfortunately.
Although Colossal Con does have a vast amount of summer servant cosplays because it's in a water park. So many bikini cosplays for Fate. Not only that, there's quite a few just amazing cosplayers that were there. Monolith cosplays. He does a really phenomenal Mordred, full armor, everything, just amazing. I like walk past the dude and I'm like, holy crap, I gotta talk to you about this stuff. But you know, I know we had talked about Anime NYC too, so if you want to swing through Ohio and then ride with me and camera guy Ryan, hopefully this year it won't be a blizzard and we won't die on the road.
Yeah, I'm still trying to plan out exactly where I want to go for this year. But wherever I'm going, I'll definitely let you know, and we'll get the hookups. I know you're still going to do that small con up here.
Oh, yeah, Doki Dokkan. I definitely will. I applied for a panel there, so maybe me and you can just sit down and talk about Fate Grand Order for a while. I'll just tell them we need a panel room for like 5 or 6 hours. We'll just live stream me and you having an in-person podcast at a convention, because it'll probably be better quality than my streams from home, because they always are.
Man, that was fun last time. Do you think when is that? Is that in May?
That is the end of June, I think.
In June? I don't know. I gotta look that up, because I mean that might be around Fate Extra CCC event.
Doki Dokkan is July 12th through the 14th.
Oh, whoa, July 12th to the 14th.
That's right after the anniversary.
Oh man,
so I come back from. Oh man, I come back from AX, and then immediately the next weekend I am in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Man, summer's gonna be fun, man. But anyways, Musaki, I appreciate you coming on. I will have all of the Chaldea Gurus links and everything down in the description, but I'm sure that you guys are good Civ masters and subscribe to them anyways. But if you're not, make sure you go over, check them out. They make me doki doki. So any closing words there, Mr. Musaki?
Well, as I like to do with most of my streams, just remember, guys, Fate is a game about love for your waifus. If you feel like the salt coming in, just remember, you got this. Don't give up. You got this. And please check out our social media, Patreon, and all that other stuff.
Yep.
Am I a YouTuber yet? Yeah.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification, drop me a like and a comment, and I will catch you next time. That's how you got to do it. You got to have that. You got to boom. Make sure you tell people that you got to hit like and subscribe about 17 times throughout the video.
All right.
By the way, the giveaway in the description. Make sure you sign up for the giveaway. Did you hit that subscribe button yet? Did you guys hit that subscribe button yet? But anyways, guys,
hit that subscribe button.
Seriously though, thanks a lot, man. And like I said, I will have all of your social media links down in the description. Hopefully YouTube doesn't just rip them out, because they've been doing that to a lot of my links lately, because YouTube is awesome. But
thanks. I
will close with my YouTuber ending. Would like to thank all the Patreons who help make this channel possible. You guys are the real MVPs. If you would like to join them, there is also a link to that down in the description. You can join at any tier that you feel comfortable with. But if you would like to help out the channel, just hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification, drop me a like and a comment, and we will catch you guys next time. Take it easy, Masters. Peace.
Logging out.